All right, Shalom, Mike. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I'd like to say Shalom to the elect that's teaching His word in all true faith and sincerity. And today, I just want to get into a lesson concerning prophecy. And this is what we're seeing on display, here in today's time. All these events that's arising in the earth is the indicator. It's not random at all. It's an indicator that this place is about to be removed. Everything that's happening on the planet Earth is ultimately contributing, is forwarding, it's a step toward the destruction of America. If you want to fast forward a movie, you want to just get just to sum it up real quick in a few words, America's going to be destroyed by the way of World War III. And all these events is leading towards it. It's only going to get worse, But I got this article from Newsbreak, and it reads, Trump says U.S. is making moves to acquire Greenland, whether they like it or not. And we really got to, we already know what time it is. This nigga rubbing a lot of people the wrong way, man. This nigga rubbing the people, the allies. It's only going to get worse. And for these people, these Americans, they don't see that this shit is finna get real bad out here. Because they don't have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. They don't understand that we really at the end of this movie. This is St. Matthew 24, verse 3, a reason. As he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? So you can see, really, the understanding of the end of the world is really a private matter. It's only for, the disciples of Yahweh Shai, the believers. Those are the only ones that's really in tune to the return of Yahweh Shai and the end of the world. It goes hand in hand. And that's why it also speaks, I believe in 2 Timothy, Apostle Paul speaks on those that their crown was laid up for him, and to those that love the appearing of the Lord. They had the spirit of anticipating that moment. So as you can see, the things that the disciples inquire of with these certain signs. And we seeing them, man. What's that, 2 Ezra 8? Going back to, you got to have the testimony of Yahweh Shai to see it as well, because you have Christians to acknowledge what's going on, but they can't go back to the scripture and say it's going to lead to the destruction. That might just put them, if anything, that might compel them to put a little bit more money in the pot on Sunday. Things stirring up. They might even say prophecy. It might come out of their mouth. But ultimately, they don't speak on a destruction or that mark, because before the destruction, that mark have to be implemented, man. When you read St. Matthew, the 24th chapter, it talks about immediately after the tribulation, that's when the sun and the moon will be darkened. So we in that part now where that tribulation is it's about to get worse. Let's get this second Ezra 8. I start at 61 and reads, and therefore is my judgment now at hand. And that now means now. Just look at the system that we're in. The technology that's on display. Even you got a term called weapons of mass destruction. How fit in this scripture to be read in this lifetime when you got a thing called weapons of mass destruction? That's talking about now. It says, these things have I not showed unto all men, but unto thee and a few like thee. See, those that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. That's why there's only certain spirits that's really know what's going on and anticipating, really on the edge of our seats. Because we got to feel of the movie. It says, then I said, behold, O Lord, now hast thou showed me the multitude of the wonders which thou would begin to do in the last times, but at what time thou hast not showed me. See? So these last is on display now. These judgments, it was meant for the last time. That's how we know we're in the last time. That's why you go into the 9th chapter. It talks about, as you see these things unfold, you're going to well understand. Roughly paraphrasing. So we know we in the midst of prophecy. We coming with the prophecy is finna climax, because that chip, which is the MOTB, the mark, is about to have its solo, man. It's about to take center stage. As you had the Somali and shit, and then some butch got put to death by ICE. ICE put somebody else to death. Those are the things that's going to, of course, you got, anti-Sem and hate speech and all these certain things is going to contribute to that mark being implemented as well. Of course, being a monetary, but that social system, that's why that anti-Sem has been hot again, because the light on Amalek, with certain talking points, so that's going to contribute to the mark too, with hate speech, and you can't criticize, and but all these are signs that the destruction is nigh. So let's go back to St. Matthew 24 and verse 3 again. The reason, as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall it be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? See, the end of this age. And Yahweh Shai answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. See? So don't we hear the wars and rumors of wars? That's the only thing what else? Evil and only evil. But these wars is war on all levels. But you even seeing it with these terms, invasion, and what the nigga Trump just said, he's gonna see. This is war talk, you know, concerning these certain resources you season resources and. But then it all comes down to when it all edges, it points to, it leads to ultimately America versus Russia, World War III, the news flying. That's what it all comes down to. From this anti-Sem hate speech and everything that we seeing today ultimately is going to ultimately head and lead to the destruction of Babylon the Great. It's all indicators to it. And that show you too, once the destruction comes, ain't gonna be nothing left to pick up. You know? He ain't gonna have nothing to pick up. Ain't gonna be no pieces left to pick up. So going back to St. Matthew 24, verse 7, it says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrow." See? Because like I said, the end is not yet, because it's going to be topped off by war. That's going to be the icing on the cake. World War III is going to climax this kingdom, you know. That's going to be the the final scene, so to speak, of this age is World War III. But before that, like I said, it's going to be a series of plagues, man. And so, matter of fact, let's end off on that in St. Matthew 24 and jump down to 29. It says, "Immediately after the tribulation of those days." So that means what? What's the tribulation is going to be filled with? Famine, pestilence, evil, death. Everything that's going to contribute to sorrow and distress and uncomfortability. But it says immediately after that. So hey, there ain't gonna be no break. Matter of fact, let's get some before we finish off. What's that? Amos chapter 5 and verse 18. It reads, "Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, is darkness and not light. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand upon a wall, and a serpent bit him." So this is the time that we're in. The time, that day of the Lord. It's a series of days, of time that's going to actually lead to a day. We in that day now. But it's a build up to the perfect day. The return of Yahweh Shai. That's where it's going to climax at. So there's going to be a series of plagues, and it's not going to be no rest, in a sense. Like you leave from one situation and run into another, and ultimately you think you got away. You think that you're going to be relieved. Like I said, you leaning your hand upon a wall, like you're going to get rest. And that serpent bites you. What's that? That's no missiles. So, as we read, going back to St. Matthew 24, it says in verse 29, "Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken." So that's pretty much the same as we read in Amos, in a sense. As those series of plagues come, it was topped off by the way of the serpent biting you. That's the missiles. Immediately after the tribulation, that the destruction is going to come. That's going to complete the destruction of America, because America is being destroyed now. It's being destructured from the minds of the people, even physically, in a sense, the roadways and buildings, financially, on all levels. But the World War III is actually going to complete the destruction. That's when it's not going to be a use for that damn the last 4 digits of your social security number. That's when the destruction is going to be complete. We're not going to be in captivity no more after World War III. But we're seeing privacy on display. It's blossoming in its fullness, you know. So yeah, I just hope that we're edifying. I'd like to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakha, Kodash. I'd like to give them honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone. Shalom to the elect. They're teaching word in all true faith and sincerity. Shalom.